Today we're talking about some of the pros and cons of buying new construction in the Baton Rouge area. Here we go. Hey guys, Shaun, Ramos here, and welcome to the channel, or if you've been here before, welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Louisiana, where we talk about everything that you need to know when it comes to what it's like moving to or living in Louisiana. So if that's the information you're looking for, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell because I'm putting out brand new videos just like this one every single week. As much as I do love making these videos for you guys, what I really love is to help you with your real estate needs. So that number that's popping up on your screen right now, that's the best way that you can reach out to me. And I'm the guy that replies to every single call, text, or email that comes through. And I am a licensed realtor in the state of Louisiana, so if you have any specific questions or needs when it comes to making the move to Louisiana, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you're in the market to buy a home in the Baton Rouge area, then you've got a decision to make. Do you want to buy a new construction home or do you want to buy a pre-existing home? And there are 100% pros and cons to each one, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to break down the pros and cons of new construction. So if you do find yourself in a situation where you have to make that decision, hopefully this video helps. So when I originally made my list of pros and cons for new construction, I realized that my pros list was way more extensive than my cons list. So I think I may be a bit biased towards new construction. So the house that I'm living in now is the fourth house that I've owned. 3 of those have been brand new construction. Now, our first house that we bought was a pre-existing home, and it was fine for a little starter home for our new family. But it was a bit outdated, it needed some work, so we found ourselves replacing flooring. We had to replace one of the exterior doors. It had some pretty bold paint colors. So there were just lots of things that we needed to change about it. So when it was time to buy the next house, we decided that we were just gonna go new construction so we can get something neutral and get something that we know we liked and we don't have to do any work to. So our second and our third home were both new builds with D.R. Horton. And then finally for this fourth house, we bought some land, had it cleared, and we did a custom build. So I had to sit down and think about it for a little while, but I did come up with some more cons, and now the list is pretty even. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna start with the pros. Pro number 1 for new construction is that it's new. So because it's brand new, it's gonna be super easy to maintain. It's not gonna need any updating, so you don't have to worry about having a big home maintenance budget. And also because it's new, everything's under warranty. So in that first new build that we had, not long after we moved in, we did have a leak in the water heater, and it was located in the attic, so it ruined all the sheetrock in the ceiling in that area. But since everything was under warranty, the builder came, replaced the water heater, replaced the sheetrock, retextured and painted everything, and you would have never known that it happened. In Louisiana, we have what we call the New Home Warranty Act, and that says that the purchaser of a newly constructed home has the right to hold the builder accountable for most construction defects within a certain time period after buying the home. So you're gonna have 1 year, 2 year, and 5 year warranties on different things. And there's no need to go too deep into that right now. It'll all get explained to you during the process. And there are things like your HVAC system that'll come with a 5-year warranty, but they'll let you know that if you register it, then it actually bumps it up to a 10-year warranty. But it's definitely peace of mind knowing that if anything breaks in your house with a certain time frame, it's gonna be taken care of. Whereas if you buy a pre-existing home, the day after you close, if the HVAC breaks, it's on you. Pro number 2 is that the homeowner's insurance is cheaper. So the homeowners insurance companies love new construction. The house is built with updated construction materials. You've got a new roof, new electrical, new plumbing, brand new appliances. And because of that, it's far less likely that you're gonna have any issues that would result in you actually having to file a claim. So you'll find that insurance for your brand new construction is gonna be significantly less than older homes. So just to give a point of reference, this house that we just built, it appraised a little over $500,000, and our homeowner's insurance is about $1,700 per year. Pro number 3 is your new construction home is gonna be way more energy efficient, which will save you money. So everything's just better these days. The insulation they use, the doors, the windows, the HVAC units, everything's made to be more energy efficient, so it's gonna save you a lot of money in your utility bills. Again, for a point of reference, the house that we built is about 2,400 square feet, which is not overly big, but it's got cathedral ceilings in 2 of the rooms. Right now, we're dealing with that brutal South Louisiana summer heat, and we're cranking the air conditioners. And the most expensive electric bill we've had so far has been about $160. And that's great because I talked to a lot of people in older homes who were paying $300 $300, $400, $500, $600 a month for their electric bills. Pro number 4 are the amenities that you get with some new construction neighborhoods. Now this is going to vary greatly depending on which neighborhood you live in. Some neighborhoods will just have a playground for the kiddos or maybe a community pool. But we're starting to see more and more neighborhoods in the area have everything that you'll need and all the amenities that you'd want right there. Things like grocery stores, daycares, public libraries, schools, fitness centers, shopping, and restaurants. Pro number 5 is the incentives or the discounts that the builder offers. Some of the big builders in the area like D.R. Horton or DSLD, they own their own mortgage and title companies. And also some of the smaller, more local builders, they have preferred lenders even though they don't own their own mortgage company. But either way, if you use their lenders or their preferred lenders, they're usually willing to offer up some kind of discount, usually in the form of closing costs. And of all the builders in the area, D.R. Horton usually goes way above the rest. There was a time in the recent past where they were offering $17,000 and even up to $20,000 at one time in buyer incentives if you use their lender and their title company. But with all the builders, with a minimum, you're typically getting at least $4,000 towards your closing costs if you use their lenders. Now this is a pro, but it can be kind of a con also, because usually at this point, you've been pre-approved with a lender that you've been working with already. So I've seen it happen multiple times where a buyer client had to have that hard talk with their lender and let them know they were going to have to go with the builder's lender just to get those closing costs. And pro number 6 is that there's way less competition for the new construction. Now that's not to say there's no competition, but when the market was super crazy and everybody was bidding up the prices on homes and you were constantly dealing with multiple offers, there may have been a waiting list at times for some of the new builds, but you weren't dealing with the same things. With the pre-existing homes, people were paying over asking price. They were waiving inspection contingencies. We were having to use things like escalation clauses and appraisal gaps to get the house. But that wasn't the case with the new construction. You didn't have to go above asking. You didn't have to waive any inspections. The price just was the price and the house just had to be available. All right, now it's time for the cons. Con number 1 is the HOAs. This is another one that could be a pro or a con, but I'm making it a con for this video because of the added expense. Whether or not you're for HOAs or not is a whole different video. They've got their purpose, and I'm not necessarily against HOAs, but depending on who's running the thing, it can get a little silly at times. But they all do come with some additional expense above and beyond your mortgage payment. But they do vary greatly from neighborhood to neighborhood. It's going to depend on what kind of amenities the neighborhood has and what expenses the HOA has. The previous neighborhood I lived in really only had to have somebody take care of the lawn maintenance and the front entrance, and maybe have a pond guy come out sometimes to take care of those. So the HOA fees in that neighborhood amounted to what came out to about $25 a month or so. But that definitely goes up as you get more amenities. But for what you get, they're really not that bad. Some of the neighborhoods I see have fees that amount to from $100 to $200, just depending on what they offer. Con number 2, some of these new construction neighborhoods just don't have the character that the older neighborhoods have. So the new neighborhoods are really nice and modern looking, but they just lack certain character that you see in some of the older, more established neighborhoods that have maybe bigger lots and just big mature oak trees. So while I do love the new houses, I really also love the character that you have in the older neighborhoods. Con number 3 is that the builders don't tend to negotiate and the prices are usually higher. So let me give a quick example. House number 2 that we lived in, which was in South Haven subdivision, has pre-existing homes that are selling right now typically in the 120s to 130s per square foot. Well, another builder came in and bought some land to do a new filing, and those new construction houses are going for 160s to 180s a square foot. And they're usually not budging on their prices. Every sale is public record, so if they drop the price for one person, then that's a comp for the next sale. But what they typically do instead of negotiating is maybe offer some other kind of incentive. Kind of like we talked about earlier with things like buyer's closing costs. And we can always make a lower offer, we can try, but they're typically not coming off of that price. Con number 4, you may be missing some things that you would have with a pre-existing home. So again, this varies from neighborhood to neighborhood, builder to builder, but you can expect to have some additional costs with new construction that you may not have with pre-existing, because the house is going to come pretty bare. There's typically not a fence, there's usually not any window coverings. Most of the time you're going to need to buy your own refrigerator, and then sometimes they don't sod the whole yard, so you'll either need to come in and seed the rest or buy more sod to fill in the areas that weren't done. And then a pre-existing home may have something like a storage shed that remains with the house, but you're definitely not going to see anything like that with new construction. But depending on the builder, sometimes they add these things. It may come with blinds. Maybe we can talk them into a fence. Sometimes they do sod the front and backyard. And sometimes they'll even throw in a refrigerator or a washer and dryer. Con number 5, it can take a while to get in your house. That's not always the case. Sometimes they build spec homes and it can just be vacant, move-in ready for you. But you can also buy one during the process while it's being built. Or you may want to choose a specific lot where no construction started at all. So if you're going with one of the big builders who builds that floor plan all the time, you can expect from start to finish 4 or 5 month process. But let me tell you my story real quick so that you know kind of what to expect if you're gonna do a custom build. So we bought 2 acres kind of out in the country a little bit that was completely wooded. So by the time that we had the land cleared, brought in the dirt, picked out the floor plans, had the builder bid everything out, get permits, and get the house built and ready for us to move in, it was probably about a year from the time we bought the lot until we moved in. And that's certainly a test of patience, and I don't know that I would have the patience to go through that process again. Con number 6, you may have some additional unexpected expenses. Now this is not so much on those spec homes that you're buying because they're typically not doing any upgrades or any changes like that, so the price is the price. But when we did our custom build, we were given a list of allowances that gave an approximate price that everything would cost, from just electrical, plumbing, light fixtures, appliances, and so on. But in almost every single case, everything that we picked came in over budget. So there were some out-of-pocket expenses that we weren't expecting. And I had no idea what plumbing fixtures would cost. When I saw the budget that we had, I was thinking there's no way we're spending that much money. But boy, was I surprised when we sat down and added everything up. So just be aware that when you're doing the custom build, the price you get in the beginning is an estimate, and you may very well need additional funds to get it done. A couple things that I want to mention now. If you're buying new construction, a lot of people feel like they don't need a home inspection, but I would 100% advise that you still get one. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to building a house. A lot of different contractors are in and out working around each other, and things can get missed. Now, obviously the builder tries to do a good job of making sure that they catch everything, but it's not always possible. And there are parish inspections that get done, so there are certain things that are being looked at, but I promise you, the parish inspectors or the builders are not looking at the house as hard as your home inspector will. In both of the previous last 2 houses I bought, I had my home inspector come check everything out before I did the walkthrough with the builder. And in both cases, he found things that needed to be fixed. So it's a good idea to have your home inspector go through the house with you before you do the walkthrough with your builder. So when that time comes, you've got a list of items that need to be repaired, ready to go. Also, I think it's still a really good idea to use a realtor when you're buying new construction. Now, it is possible to go straight to the builder and deal with their sales reps. But just keep in mind, while their sales reps may not be out to get you, they work for the builder, not for you. And the builder pays the commission for someone like me to help you get through the process. There's a lot of paperwork involved, lots of timelines to be met. So it really does help to have someone in your corner representing you to advocate for you through the whole process. And it's not like the builder's gonna give you a deal because you don't have an agent and they don't have to pay that commission. It just means the builder's gonna make more money on that particular sale because they don't have to pay a commission. So there's no downside for you having your own agent to get you into the house. And when you get to that point, I would love to help you navigate your home purchase, whether it's new construction or pre-existing homes. So that number that's popping up on your screen right now, that's the best way you can reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I want to be a resource for you for anything real estate related. So give me a call or shoot me a text or email if you have any specific questions when it comes to moving to or living in Louisiana. And guys, if you haven't done it yet, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell, because every week I'm putting out brand new videos just like this one. And I want to make sure that you get notified so that you don't miss anything. All right, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.